Oh, we are live. Greetings, humans. Greetings, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods, people. That is where bears live, people. Yes, indeed. 7 out of 8 TikTok women would agree. Rather see a bear in the woods than a man in the woods. It is YouTube's #1 show by a bear. Yo soy bear. Well, how was your weekend, folks? Hope it was all well. Hope it was all good. Had a great, if you're new to the channel, had a great, we had a great time out there with the James Bond watch along. If you were here with Bear, he appreciates it so much. So much going on Saturday, but we tried to do what we planned on doing. So if you're new here, kind of do a comics. We talk about comics and whatnot. Talk about entertainment as well. We could take a hard right turn to discussing some of the news that came up on Saturday, but we will find out here in just a moment. Just want to say hello to everyone out here that we have going on. So let me bring this up. Let me find you guys again, for crying out loud. It is good to see P Money here. I tell you, man, I should make this a poll or something like that. I really have 2 different shows that's going on here. We can kind of do the normal show. We were supposed to do a show last Wednesday. The power went out. Bear was here ready to go. Maybe 20 minutes beforehand, 30 minutes beforehand. The power went out. Just totally dead. So I had to say to everybody, hey, we don't have a show tonight. So we've got some of the stuff from Wednesday that we could talk about. Of course, there's a whole other situation going on out there. You know, most folks out there, you know, they might spend their time, you know, on the weekends or, you know, Monday or Tuesday or something like that, you know, hanging out with friends, family, going out to dinner, watching movies, you know, playing video games, whatnot. Bear, I wish I could say Bear has a great life. He's the toast of the town and all that sort of stuff. Bear fancies himself as a writer. So 90% of the time, research. That is what Bear does on his spare time, people. To come up with a great show for you good people. And trying to go through the clutter here with what's going on. So let's actually make a poll. P-Money, what do you think, man? Let's see if we can do a poll here. Let me start it up here. 1 second. Let's see. Breaking news. I think you know what I mean there. Or a regular show. There we go. All right. Let's start it out. Let's ask the audience. Bear is of 2 minds here. Do you want to know what's going on as best Bear can describe it to you and his thoughts and feelings behind it? Or we could just do the comic stuff. Some fun stories out there. What was it? One of them, we find out who won the Miss AI pageant. So if you're curious about that, we can do that as well. But let me get to the chat here. Mainly P Money here. Let me see. Why won't it scroll up? For crying out loud. Women may choose Bear, but God whispers, Trump, just move your head slightly. Yes, indeed. I've spoken to hunters, and they say, they all say you can't plan a shot like that. Trump was protected by something supernatural. Supernatural. Well, while we're waiting on the poll here, let me just start off. Let's just start off with, well, let's go to the beginning here for just a second. Since we got P Money here, he's enjoying the show with Bear. Listen, Bear was trying to get all his facts and all that good stuff for from Russia with Love. If you haven't go check that out, that watch along, go check it out. Bear will leave it in the description or something. Go check it out. I was trying to get all the stuff together. Had a number of bits of trivia, actors and actresses and all this other stuff. Was trying to get all that stuff in order for you good people out there to have a fun show. I mean, Bear spends, a week or two just researching one movie. So I was trying to do all that. Just so happened to click on one of the tabs there, and it was already set to the news thing. I just happened to refresh it. Oh my God, there is shooting that occurred at a Trump rally. What the hell is going on? Good to have you here, Amy. We missed you last show. We missed you. I know you don't like the James Bond stuff there, but it had cats in it, Amy. The show had cats in it, man. We missed you, Amy. We hoped you and Melissa would have stopped by. If you didn't get a chance, go check that out. Go check that out, man. Let's see. As your campaign manager, Bear, I don't know if you could run against someone protected supernaturally. Well, if they're putting out the hit on Trump, do you think Bear has a chance? Anywho, so we were about to go live, maybe 20, 30 minutes before live. No, it was a little bit more than that. I think it was right around 7 o'clock. Bear found out this breaking news that was going on, and was in a conundrum here. Was in a conundrum. Number one, obviously, a complete world-changing event, possibly, but luckily he was okay. Listen, let me just continue. So it was trying to figure out, okay, what do we do now? Do we just broom everything and go straight to breaking news, which Bear knew all of what you people knew. If we would have broomed it and did breaking news then, it would have been just Bear doing what he's going to show you if you guys want to check that out, of what was going on, how did it happen, pretty much almost immediately after Bear got done with the show. And it really didn't hit Bear until he's talking about JFK in the movie, and how he, From Russia with Love was one of his last, or probably the last, movie that he ever saw. So it really didn't kind of hit Bear until then. Pretty soon after, basically what Bear kind of does as a writer and everything is a character profile. So I was taking this as a movie. If you were to write a movie about this, how would you start to describe the character, the guy that shot at Trump? How would you start to do all that sort of stuff? So that's kind of what we got a little bit today here, if you want to check that out. Otherwise, we can broom it and just do the fun stuff out here. So let's check it out. Let me see. 3 votes. 100% for breaking news. No one wants a regular show. Okay. You have voted. You have decided. I'm going to end the poll. If you want a regular show, you got 5 seconds. 5, 4, trace, 2-0, 1-0. We are ending the poll here. End poll. There we go. All right, with 100%. Come on, end poll. End poll, dang you. For crying out loud. Well, it's not. I don't know, whatever. It's not going away for Beer. I have no idea what the hell's going on. There we go. Anyways, breaking news. All right. Let me just get it off of this for 1 second. The title of this show here. This was a some artwork that Bear had for quite a while. I was trying to figure out what, we try to name the shows. Barely Live, number 145,000, blah, 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 blah. I hate that stuff. So we try to name it something, trying to figure out what a good name would be. Pretty much when we saw the stuff going down live, and we all probably came to the same conclusion there. You always hear people saying prayers and all this stuff. So right at the very beginning of the show here, I want to start and just kind of think of it in those terms of, boy, there is really, the big fella out there, however you want to describe it, whichever sort of religious, viewpoints that you have out there, people. Beer is one true beer god, but whatever you people decide. That definitely was looking out for him. That was definitely, if you were Catholic, he would be halfway into sainthood. No joke. Definitely a miracle happened on the 13th, and we are all better off because of, what was missed rather than what hit. Unfortunately, it hit some people, and we pray for all of them and everything. One of the reasons, P-Money, and I guess I can kind of tell. You guys have been around long enough. It's probably, this isn't braggadocio or anything like that, but beer. Listen, man, the woods are tough. The woods are tough out here. Bear, literally should not be here right now talking to you people. Not because I got better things to do, but probably, gosh, more than a dozen, maybe closer to 2 dozen. I don't know. I stopped counting. Near death experiences for Bear that he shouldn't be here, shouldn't be walking the earth, should be 6 feet under, being a worm food, people. That's the worst. Worm food. So when you see stuff like that, you have to have an ability to kind of, humor is one way of handling things. Putting it into a corner of your mind is something else. So, when you see a lot of people out there just kind of talking out of their where, Trump was right. Trump was very right when he said, I shouldn't be here. Half right, let me just say. Half right. The other half of that is, I shouldn't be here, but I am. And there's a reason why I should be here. So I think starting out the whole entire show here, just pulling back big picture of that sort of deal. I guess maybe that's why Bear wasn't as phased. I was happy that he was okay. So, all right, he's okay. I've got a show to do. Let's go do a show. And that's kind of how Bear kind of tackled it, really. Again, otherwise it would just be, this is breaking news. Well, whatever. Thank you, Amy. This isn't braggadocio. This isn't, trying to get a hot lady a drink at the bar or something like that. Hey, baby, I'll tell you, I don't know, almost died today. Listen, if you know people that have been through that experience, people that have been in war, veterans, firefighters, that sort of deal, it's more of the soft-spoken folks. They're not going to be telling war stories out there. So again, you people have been here long enough. I know we can kind of share that. So thank you, Amy. Hi, Melissa. How are you? Let's see. P-Money says, thanks for asking about the family, Amy. We're excited. We're flying for a 3-week trip. 1 week tomorrow. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that, sir. I am scrolling back. Hi, hello, Bear. Yes, indeed. Good to see Amy, Melissa, all that. So, anyways, that's kind of the 10,000 foot look. Trying to take a step back from politics, trying to take a step back from, the sort of rat-a-tat-tat breaking news sort of stuff. And now it seems like people are just straight on to the convention, looking at what people are, speeches and that sort of stuff. And it's like, I don't really care about that. Flying to Eastern Canada, says P-Money. There you go. If you're headed to Florida, we're all going to Dinosaur Land. There we go. All right. So all that I don't want to say out of the way, but okay. So here is how Bear tries to approach this. Like I said, plenty of research. It's boring, people. It is really, 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 really boring. It's not like you go on to Twitter and find the hottest Twitter take or the newest picture or something on 4chan and all this sort of stuff and then blast it out to everybody that you know. Look at here, look what I found, blah, 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 blah. You listen. People that are in the know, that know how to do research, you really have to cross-reference, find multiple, hopefully local sources, people willing to go on the record, all that stuff, all crossed, checked, and everything. The hardest part of all of this is none of this is being talked about. Everybody is clammed up. This should have came out that evening, maybe the next Sunday, maybe people weren't around on Sunday, so maybe early Monday morning. A timeline. Okay, this is what happened here. And then you can start cross-referencing, finding out names of people. We don't know anything, people. So this is the very best that Bear can do. That's why he's late. That's why he's late, man. Plenty of stuff to go through here. So there we go. Let's see. I just looked at that painting you got, Bear. What's with the face on the right coming out of the ground? Oh, yeah, look at there. I never noticed that. That's kind of interesting. I think this is more kind of like a fantasy picture. Now I can't not see it. Amy says it is hot right now. It is. It's very hot out here. All right, let me try to, as best Bear can. Okay, best Bear can. We're gonna try and do a timeline, number one, and then number two. We're gonna try our best to do sort of a character profile of this. People keep calling him a kid. The guy that shot at Trump and ended up losing his life and head out here. Name Thomas Matthew Crooks. You can't make this up, people. You literally cannot make this up. Let me bring this. Let me get... apologize about being late. I am not even set up here. All right, let me find the thing with the thing. All right, there's that. There is a U, people. I don't know how do I get rid of the freaking thing right there? Hold on one second, people. Let's see, interact. Can I get rid of it? That's how you close the poll. Okay. Anyways, we're doing it anyways, people. So there we go. All right, click on that. Okay, there we go. Professional show. Here we go. A lot of pressure on Beer here. All right, starting out as best we can determine. Now, this, of course, is actually coming from New York Post, but they're reporting from CNN. So take it as you wish here, people. Take it as you wish. All right, inside what Trump's would-be assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks, maybe not, we'll find out, did in the 24 hours before the rally shooting. So they're trying to puzzle over the motives, yada, yada, yada. On Friday, he visited a sportsman club and practiced firing shots. Again, according to a law enforcement official, according to CNN. So we don't know who the law enforcement official is. This is going to be a theme throughout, people. Just bear with me here. Bear with Bear here. So according to CNN, according to this anonymous law enforcement officer, he was at a sporting club and was doing what you do at a sporting club. You're just practicing his shots out there. That is apparently what we come to believe is his house. Although I've seen different angles of this and it didn't look like it, but I don't know. We'll go with it there. Club is about a 25-minute drive from where he lived with his parents. His father was also a member of the club, and they enjoyed shooting together. The rifle range is about 200 yards long, definitely longer than what we needed, and we'll get to that in just a second. The club, blah, blah, blah. He supposedly bought 50 rounds of ammunition from Allegheny Arms and Gun Works in Bethel Park. It's a one-stop shop for all your firearm and accessory needs. Get it now while you still can. And it goes on. We don't even know if it's a gun similar to the one. We don't know for certain. We haven't found any photographic evidence of that. After his stop at the gun shop, Crooks went to a Home Depot where he purchased a 5-foot ladder. This will come into view later on. He was also driving a Hyundai Sonata. So I don't know if the 5-foot ladder would even fit inside of a Honda Sonata or not. Maybe if the fold-down seats. Or maybe it might be a ladder that's folded up in and of itself. But anyways, he was driving that sort of car. Let's see. Home Depot, where 5-foot ladder. A receipt for the ladder was found in his pocket. Very convenient. If he was doing this on Friday, why was the receipt for the ladder still in it? Was he still wearing the same pants? We don't know. We condemned violence, yada, yada, yada. It's not immediately clear if the newly purchased ammunition or the ladder on the tech trip rally. Although he did use a ladder to scale the roof, maybe not. We're still not certain on that. Of the factory to stake out the crowd. This is one of the very few pictures that we have. We'll come back to that in a couple minutes. Just want people to know that's what the fella supposedly looked like. Supposedly here. He just walked up past police and Secret Service carrying a rifle and a ladder, asked Amy. We're not certain even about that. This is the most convoluted thing that Bear has ever tried to research. Bear, listen. One of the screenplays that Bear was trying to write was about 9/11. September 11th, 2001. So there's a lot of stuff about that. A lot that may be true, a lot that's a bunch of hocus pocus. This is that and then some. We're still early. It'd be really helpful if we had a TikTok of events here, but we're not there just yet, so we're trying our best. He held the ladder out the window of the vehicle the whole time. Probably. I do wonder about the parents. They will never have a normal life after this. We'll get to that in a moment. Anyways, I drove his Hyundai Sonata 1 hour north, so he wasn't even in the area of the Butler County or Butler Township there in Pennsylvania. He was observed by cops at least. We'll get to all of this in just a minute. We have sometimes here. This is probably one of the few that we actually have because it coincides with when Trump is getting shot here. It goes on. They had his phone yielded little evidence, and even his laptop showed typical online activities, that's the first thing that Bear has heard from CNN, because apparently his whole thing was either scrubbed or he has no information online. That's a whole other situation right there. We'll get into in momentarily, but we got to get through all this first. Anyways, there he is right there. That's kind of what's happened before all the situation that was going on. P-Mike says, I told my wife Trump was shot but only got his ear. She didn't believe me. She says, that sounds like something that only happens in the movies. Or, once again, going back to it, I know the leftists hate it out there because if we're on God's side, and God helped protect Trump out there, there's only one other side that they happen to be on, but we're not trying to stir the pot here just yet. Let's see. Matthew Brian Cox and Mary Elizabeth Cox, parents of Thomas Cooks, are licensed professional counselors, according to the Pennsylvania Department of State's licensing verification. He was born September 20th, 2003, graduated from Bethel Park High School in 2022, received a National Math and Science Initiative Star Award. A lot of people are saying, God, what a dummy this guy is. He can't even hit, from 100 yards away. We now know that Trump turned, and that's the only thing that saved him, was just turning. He didn't normally do that. He would do the teleprompter, which is kind of 45. He happened to turn 90 degrees, and that's where the bullet grazed by. More or less 90 degrees. Apparently, he earned a National Math and Science Initiative Star Award. He's no dummy, people. Also, I believe he got an associate degree in engineering science from Community College of Allegheny County in the school between 2021 and 2024. Maybe because some of the COVID stuff there, so maybe classes, maybe they were online or something like that. But there you go, graduated with an associate degree. Didn't say how high or anything like that. But if you're going into engineering science, National Math and Science Initiative Star Award, you're no dummy. Okay, so let's put that into the character profile that we're starting to build here. No indication that he had mental issues, did not have a criminal record, and there is no record of him in the federal database. Family was registered Republican. He apparently was registered Republican, but that may be because you get the text on your phone for the nearest Trump rally. So that may have been, people say he was a Republican. Maybe not. Maybe not. He did also donate to a political action committee. It was actually Act Blue. Act Blue, January 20th, the day that Joe Biden was inaugurated. Go figure. Anyway, so that is kind of the sort of walk up behind him here. How good are the Phoebes at investigating laptops? They couldn't even crack his phone open. Until they did. Hours later, for some strange reason. We have no idea why. But apparently he had no online presence, but was using encrypted apps to talk to people. Okay. We'll believe that. We'll believe that. Pardon me. Got the sniffles, people. Did he know what he was doing? Did he willingly sacrifice his life for the sake of the federal elite? Good question, Melissa. Smart individual. I think we can all agree upon that. He had. Let me see here. Let me go back. No known mental health issues. No known criminal record. Okay. It's possible somebody could snap. Again, somebody could just. I've lost it. I can't take it no more. I'm gonna do the thing, and life is secondary. I believe, and we'll get into a minute. I don't think he was suicidal. I don't think it was trying to be death by cop or anything like that. So no, I don't believe that, Melissa. I could listen. Change Bear's mind, please. If you got information, let Bear know. And I apologize, people. I have not put any of this information into the description. Once we get done tonight or maybe tomorrow, I'll go ahead and put all that stuff in. This is coming from the Epoch Times. The previous was the New York Post here. We're also going to go to NBC News here. I'm trying to do it a timeline here. This is the best that Bear can do. I felt like snapping wouldn't be so premeditated. I agree, Amy. I think he's smart. Doesn't matter who he registered with. He couldn't have voted for or against Trump anyway in 2020. He's in Pennsylvania. Of course he can vote. Pardon me. Of course. I joke, people. I joke. All right. Rooftop where a gunman shot Trump was identified as a security vulnerability before the rally even started. Two sources. We don't have any idea who they are. Reporters, if you're going to put this stuff out there, we need to know who they are. Okay? None of this anonymous sources say. You're not protecting anything. Pardon me. Two sources said that the Secret Service flagged a building near the rally site as a security concern. Investigators will be scrutinizing how the gunman was allowed to scale it. So this would... Let me find it here. 1 second, people. So this is what we're talking about. This one right here is not correct. This is actually from, I believe, maybe the New York Post. I'll show you here in just a second, but they have it listed as the wrong building, I do believe. Where it says shooter location. I don't believe it is that actual building. I believe it is, if we can see it here. Okay, so you see the rally. what was the rally. So you see the grandstands and all this other stuff. You'll see some buildings in the background to the upper left there. Where they were pointing with this first one was the closer building, okay? So this closer, lower building over here. Bear believes, and I think we've got evidence to back it up, is it was actually the taller building behind the closest building to us. So it looks like a 2-story building there, if Bear is correct. Again, these are all hard facts to find. Anybody has any information, Bear will, of course, amend it. We're trying our best here. This is kind of a better look. You can see the stage, where all the rally goers were, kind of an area that was, I don't believe there was anybody in that area where you see the Klieg lights off the screen there. I believe all of the cell phone video that you see close up showing the guy climbing and all this other stuff, there you can barely see it, but there is a fence line. I believe there's 2 fence lines there. There's one close to the building, and then there's one closer. You can see the Klieg lights, and then it runs by. It looks like maybe it might take a hook and then hook again, but it's right close to where the cranes are situated there. So I do believe there are 2 fences there, and the area in between, I believe, wasn't. They didn't have anybody there. So you'll see the area behind there, and you can see the second taller building would actually give a better vantage point and angle to it. We'll get into it in a moment. Apparently there were police or law enforcement elements within one of these buildings here. I believe they were in the closer, shorter building, because we've have reports saying that the sniper was behind and above where the law enforcement people were in one of these buildings here. So there we go. That just so you have a kind of picture in your mind here. All right, the rooftop where the gunman shot at former president and future President Donald Trump during a campaign rally was identified by the Secret Service as potential vulnerability in the days before the event. So more than 48 hours before the event. 2 sources familiar with the agency's operations told NBC News. The building, owned by a glass research company, is adjacent to the Butler Farm show. You can see that right there. And the Secret Service was aware of the risk, sources say. Someone should have been on the building or securing the building, so no one could get on the roof, said one of the sources. Understanding how the gunman got onto the roof, despite those concerns, is a central question for investigators scrutinizing how a lone attacker managed to shoot at Trump during Saturday's campaign event. We still have no idea. They haven't released any of this information. We're still trying to figure out which building it was. Crying out loud. Oh, we'll get to the slants. We'll get to the slants in just a second. It's kind of a tick-tock, so we're still even before the event. We're still 2 days before the event or more. A Secret Service worked with local law enforcement. It doesn't say who. Local law enforcement is a wide rubric here. To maintain event security, including sniper teams poised on rooftops to identify and eliminate threats. Finally, Secret Service spokesman Anthony Guglielmo said. But no officers were posted on the building used by the would-be assassin outside the event security perimeter, rather, but only about 148 yards from the stage. Let's see if we can kind of see that a little bit better. Yeah, again, I don't know if that's the correct building or not. They keep saying it's that building, but then they also say it was above and behind. So we're not really quite sure there. You can also see the elevation there as well. I apologize. It's too white. It kind of looks washed out here, but there you go. Kind of gives you a better impression there. Let's see. The Secret Service has designated that rooftop as being under the jurisdiction of local law enforcement. Common practice in securing outdoor rallies, the spokesman said. A Butler County District Attorney, I don't know why they're going to him, Richard Goldinger, says his office maintains an emergency services unit team, which deploys 4 sniper teams and 4 quick response teams at the rally. That is also disputed. But he said the Secret Service agents were in charge of security outside of the venue. Actually, did I not bring that in? Hold on one second. No, hold on. Gosh, I do have it here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second, people. Let's see if we can bring this in. Because it is quite interesting here how they did that. 1 second, people. Let me see if I can find this. Come on, bear. Thing with a thing. Be prepared, bear. Be prepared. Okay, that's not it. 1 second, people. I apologize. Apologize, people. Apologize. Here we go. All right. Let me do the thing with the thing. Let's see. 1 second, people. Talk amongst yourselves. God dang it. Let's see. How can I not do this? Okay, open. Just open it. Okay, there we go. All right. Send it to myself here. 1 second, people. Do the thing with the thing. There we go. Because it does give a better... There we go. There we are. So, let's see. Can I go back to this? Let me do the thing with the thing. Sorry, people. There we go. All right. So, here is an overhead view of what we just were looking at here. So, it kind of looks suspicious, doesn't it? It's like a Pac-Man. Okay? They have... And I don't know the... I don't know the distance here. I don't know the distance. So if we figured 148 yards from the building to the stage where he was at, let's just call it 150 yards. Probably a circumference around it. And then we have this little pie shape that is cut out where the shooter happened to be. Pardon me. So for some reason that was cut out. And it was given to, quote, local law enforcement. Local law enforcement. Okay, so what we need to know, and this is why it helps to research all this sort of stuff. The, what was the name of it? The Butler? Is it Butler? 1 second here. Yeah, Butler County. Butler County. Or township, however you wish to describe it there. They are kind of a small town. I believe 3,000 to 5,000 people nearby, maybe more in the surrounding community there. Their whole police department is about 20 people. So the Secret Service comes to Butler County. Hi there, Mr. Chief of Police. We need you to help us out. We need you to secure this area excluded from the security bubble. With 20 of your finest officers, and they're not all 20 officers. You know, some of them are clerks. You know, some of them are hanging out at the jail, making sure nobody escapes. So not everybody is going to be there from the local police department. There's also sheriff as well. There is also state as well, and they could also bring in other federal units as well. Do you really think that a police force of 20 or so, I don't even know if we want to call them all officers there, but 20 or so police people there, do you think that they have a bunch of snipers? Do you think they have a bunch of, counter-assault teams, SWAT teams, that sort of deal? You're giving a great vantage point over to a local police department that had 20 or so people. That's about it. That's about it. P-Money's got to head out. Gotta call it early. Gotta go out with Roof. But this is interesting info, Meyer. I'll be sure to watch the rest later tonight. Well, thank you, P-Money. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your KFC. Hope you enjoy your KFC. All right, so anyways, we will say goodbye to P-Money and say hello to everyone else out there. Thank you for spending your evening. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. Which, by the way, let me find it here. 1 second, people. I don't know if it's in here somewhere. Essentially, all that the local police were doing was just traffic. So we're still trying to figure out, who the heck was guarding. Where is it here? Who the heck was guarding this building? We don't even know. We now know 2 days after the fact that they said that there were snipers in there. Why weren't they on the roof? It was too slanted, they say. Okay, all right, whatever. But anyways, we have that, but we don't even know who the actual quote-unquote local people were. No idea. None whatsoever. Anyways, going back to it. Let's see. A Goldinger said the commander of the emergency services unit told him that it was not responsible for securing areas outside the venue. To me, the whole thing is under the jurisdiction of the Secret Service, and they will delineate from there. So there we go. They dropped the ball, yada, yada, yada. Just because it's outside the perimeter, doesn't it take it out of play for vulnerability, and we got to mitigate it in some fashion. The sources say, people. Sources say. All right. Police couldn't secure building shooter used to attempt to kill Trump. I don't know why. To try to kill Trump. Okay, there we go. Secret Service was said. Local police, ahead of President Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally over the weekend, informed the Secret Service that they did not have the resources to secure the building that the would-be assassin used to shoot at Trump. According to the Washington Post, the Secret Service doesn't say who in the Secret Service, so what anonymous sources say. I was notified that local police department did not have the manpower to assist with securing that building. Again, we're not certain which building it was. Anonymous Secret Service official told the outlet. Here we go. The agency was considering putting an officer and a patrol car outside of the building. Why they didn't? We don't know. Apparently, local people said we don't have the people. We're 20 people here. We don't have enough. We don't have that amount of people here to do that. So they were considering putting a car and an officer outside of there to keep an eye on things. A Secret Service person. They never did. Why? We don't have answers to that question. We don't know. We have no idea. All right, moving on. Let's see. From a local source here. A Trump rally gunman spotted by law enforcement nearly 30 minutes before shots were fired. And I think I have that here. Let me see. Did I have it? Gosh, dang it, Bear. It might be in one of the... No, it's not in that article. You may have seen the picture out there. In fact, did I have it? Let's see. 1 second, people. Let's see. That's him aiming. That is him aiming. Sorry about the watermark on there. God, I thought I had the other one. They took a picture. They took a picture of him about 30 minutes beforehand. It was kind of weird because it was from kind of an overhead angle, kind of looking down on him. So you'd figure, where was that picture taken? I apologize, people. I don't have that right in front of me. WPXI, Nicole Ford here. Butler, Pennsylvania. Channel 11 News uncovered dramatic new details Monday in the moments leading up to the assassination attempt. he was spotted. The almost assassin was spotted by law enforcement officials nearly 30 minutes before shots were fired. So we got 30 minutes. Let's see. According to sources, one of them noticed a suspicious man scoping out a roof near the rally at 5:45 p.m. Trump was supposed to start his rally, I think, at 6. And when was the... God, I don't have the thing. Where was it here? 1 second. Oh, I know I had the time on there. Did it have it? I don't have the... I know I said it just earlier there, but I'm sorry, people. There's so much that Bear's got to keep track of here. Should have wrote that down. If you have that information, just leave it for Bear. I'm searching. Okay, it's not in there. Anyways, so I don't have the actual time that he was shot at there, but 5:45 is when they claimed that they were taking the picture. We've learned from our sources the person in that picture was Crooks. We're told it's not clear if Crooks had a gun with him at that point. He did have a rangefinder, apparently. According to multiple sources, law enforcement officer had previously seen Crooks on the ground, called him a suspicious person with a picture prior to 5:45 p.m. Now, we've also have reports of him trying to enter into the secure area. They turned him around. We have reports anywhere from 3 hours to 1 hour before all this stuff happened that they were keeping an eye on him there. Again, we've got to double and triple check all this. Our sources tell us an officer checked the grounds for Crooks at that point, but not see him where the picture was taken. He moved. 26 minutes after the second picture of Crooks was taken by law enforcement and the informants called in, shots were fired from the roof. So less than 30 minutes, 5:45. So yeah, 6:15, 6:20-ish there. If Bear's math is correct there. So anyways, he was a little bit late. I think maybe he was supposed to start at 5, so he's like an hour late. Kid's still walking around looking for the best place to crawl up and take a really good look at what's going on at the Trump rally, yada, yada, yada. Again, this is... Let me just show it here. So this is the only known image that we have. I believe maybe there is another image of another... this is him in, I believe, freshman year of high school. We don't have any other, that Bear knows of, any other pictures of him. There might have been one from later on in high school. I don't have that one right in front of me there. I keep seeing stuff getting cropped, so I don't know if they've cropped out the American flag or not. A 20-year-old has only one picture that we know of. That's kind of suspicious, and no online activity whatsoever. So this is the picture that we have of what he's supposed to look like, and this is our best guess is what he looked like. So you'll notice longer hair. In the other picture that I saw, he's a little bit more buff. So, if you kind of remember the Trayvon Martin stuff, they kept showing pictures of Trayvon Martin. If Obama had a son, all this other stuff, they never showed the picture of him that was taken several years later, where he was like really buff and really, built up and everything. That kind of reminds Bear of this. It's, this picture, I'm not saying it's not the same person. I'm just saying it doesn't match. The only picture that we have is this sort of dorky looking kid here. And it doesn't really match up with what we have in real time. So there you go. Wait, they had a drone picture of him on the roof. We don't know that. And let me back up there, Amy. That's a good question. When people say, where were the drones? What they should be saying is, where is the aviation assets? A drone is a little bit of a misnomer. I think people think of like the Predator drone or something like that. There's different classes. Again, it's not going to be armed or anything, but there's different classes of drones out there, and you have to get special permission from the FAA to be able to fly around in that area, especially for something that's with the Secret Service and a protected area and all this other stuff. I think people get too caught up in the drone sort of technology and don't ask just where was the aviation unit, airplane, helicopter, something like that. Where was that? What were there any assets out there? We don't know that. So to answer your question, no, they only had a picture of him from the lower angle. When I said that they had a picture of him from higher above, I mean that he might have been. Let me go back here. Let's go back here. So you see the building, and we're still not sure which one is which here. But if they happen to be, let's just say on this the 2-story building there, the officers supposedly were inside. So if they were on that second floor, maybe they're looking down. That's the only thing that Bear was trying to say, is that the angle of that was just looking down. It wasn't that there was a overhead view of it. It was the officer taking the picture. And gosh dang it, where do I even have that? Since that's a point of contention, give me a second here, Amy. Let me find and see if I have that thing with the thing here. It may be in one of the stories here as well. 1 second. That's not there. Let's see. It may be in one of these other. Let me look through it real quick, Amy. Hold on 1 second. Let me look through some of the stuff. I have so many tabs open, it's hard to keep track. I don't want to lose. That. Bear will search through here, and if he does find it, I will let you know. I've got some of this stuff queued up, and I don't want to. Yeah, it doesn't have it. That doesn't have it. Hold on 1 second. That's not it. That's the other photo. 1 second. It's out there, Amy. You can go search for it. It is out there. It's kind of a very bad profile look, like he's kind of turning his head. So it's kind of a bad profile look to it. Yeah, I shouldn't be saying things like this and not having the proof to back it up here for you good people. So just take it from Bear. And no, it wasn't a drone. It was just like he was, like a couple feet above, couple feet above, or maybe 5 feet above, or something like that. So there we go. Your word as good as cash, Bear. All right. Say there's a photo, I believe you. We'll keep an eye out for that. I just got some of these tabs kind of queued up, and I don't want to lose my place here. So the officer saw him on the roof from the 2nd story of the neighboring building. Again, I don't know this, Amy. The only information. Well, let me hold on to that, Amy. Let me get through the timeline here. Let me get through the timeline, and we can try and come back and answer any questions you have that Bear hopefully has an answer to. There are so many questions. All right, let's see. Here we go. From Fox News, he was identified as a character of suspicion. This comes from a senator after a briefing between the Senate lawmakers and the U.S. Secret Service. John Barrasso. He was identified as a character of suspicion because he had a rangefinder as well as a backpack, and this was over an hour before the shooting actually occurred. So you would think over the course of that hour, you shouldn't lose sight of the individual. Somebody ought to be following up on that sort of things. Yeah, you would think. Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming? Yeah. No evidence of that happening at all, he says. No evidence at all. So we've got in between, 30 minutes and an hour or 3 hours. It's still up in the air, people. It's still up in the air. Amy's got her popcorn ready. Got her popcorn ready here. All right, from CBS News. More details have emerged about the shooter here. A 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Cooks. Again, he's a 20-year-old, but they're showing a picture of him when he's, what do you think, maybe 13, 14? It is odd, man. This is odd. Of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, was killed after he opened fire. Rudimentary bomb-making material. Oh boy, I'm setting off all of the bells at YouTube headquarters here. Material was found at the gunman's home and in his vehicle. He was a member of the local gun club, and a former classmate said that he had tried out for the high school rifle team but didn't make it. The Phoebes are investigating whether the shooter was politically motivated, homegrown, domestic, violent extremist. Got thoughts on that. Investigators are still combing through his background. Or deleting it. We don't know. Justice Department officials told reporters that investigators had the shooter's phone and were examining it. Did I miss something? Let's see. Here we go. Law enforcement sources said that bystanders spotted the sniper on the roof with a rifle about 400 feet from where Trump was speaking in Butler, Pennsylvania, and reported his presence to the authorities. The sheriff of Butler County said on a local police officer was hoisted by another officer to look onto the roof. The shooter pointed his rifle back at the officer, who let go and fell off. And we've heard different versions of that. The shooter then turned toward the rally. And let's take a look here. Toward the rally. And here's his sight line there. Turned toward the rally and fired 6 to 8 rounds. I believe it was closer to 8 if you listen to it. Using an AR-style weapon. So something like a AR-15. Or AR-17 maybe. We still don't even know what the bullet caliber is. A Secret Service sniper soon shot him and killed him. And of course, we all know what happened after that. Trump was quickly whisked away from the stage. I wouldn't say it was that quick. By armed agents, blood running down the side of his face. Trump posted a social media platform on Sunday morning saying it was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening. That's why we try to walk it back here at the beginning of the show. Yada, 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 investigation, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Okay, so here we are with another one here. Pardon me, people. This is, I got to go through a bunch of stuff, so this is going to take a minute here. Yes, Amy. Yes. Yes, it is. This is BeaverContrarian.com. County officer warned of seeing a man with a rangefinder before he was shooting at Trump. Beaver County police officer warned a command center. We still don't know what the command center was. This is still all questions. Of seeing a man with a rangefinder before the former President Donald Trump was shot on Saturday. Officer also warned the man was scoping out the roof of the building he was stationed in as a counter sniper. Okay, so they were... he was looking at the building that these people were in, and they were stationed as a counter sniper. That would be over here, over to the left there, where that water tower is. So the kid outside of the perimeter, you kind of see the fence line a little bit better there. So apparently that was outside of the security bubble, as they call it. So they're saying, hey, we got a guy with a rangefinder looking around. Here I am. And again, we're not certain which building that they were in. The sort of lower building that's off to the right, or the taller 2-story building that's off to the left. We still don't know that. Still have no idea. Let me go back. Where was I here? There we go. Let's see. And that the man returned with a backpack before ultimately scaling the building. Now, we don't know how he got up there. If you remember earlier, he bought a 5-foot ladder. Let me go back again. Let me see if we can do another good one here. A 5-foot ladder wouldn't even get you on top of the smaller building, much less on top of the larger building. We have reports that maybe he put the ladder on top of an AC unit and used that to get up on the roof. We also have reports that there was a ladder already stationed there, possibly by, the counter sniper team or whatever. Maybe some of the officers had looked at the roof the day before. It's too sloped. We can't go up there. But the ladder was still there. Other things said that it was hidden. We still don't know any of this. Despite all the warnings, he was able to continue his plan to become Trump's would-be assassin. The paper spoke with multiple law enforcement sources. They still don't say who. Security is provided by agencies from Beaver, Butler, and Washington counties. So those would be sheriffs during Saturday's rally. They claim the lack of manpower and, quote, extremely poor planning put the former president's life in grave danger. While the U.S. Secret Service provided security within a secure perimeter of the rally, local enforcement agencies were tasked with the area outside of the magnetometers that the screen rallies entered the venue. Again, right over here. So you'd probably enter at the lower, maybe that one white building over there. It looks like maybe there might be let's see if we can get a better one here. No, it wouldn't show that. So they're probably entering either off to the right. The lower right. I think the upper right, that would be where a lot of the just the VIPs, the police, a bunch of other stuff. If you saw when he was taken off stage, he was taken off, if you're looking at this, to stage, to our right, stage left for them out there, and then gone behind. So there's a couple buildings, but in fact, let me get it off of that and show. Let's see if we can find it here. 1 second, people. There we go. So they were probably, VIPs were entering kind of towards our right there. When they escorted Trump out, you see where the red is on the stage. They went from what would be now left and also stage left behind, I guess those are stands and around that crane there. Not exactly sure where the SUV was parked. I don't know if it was the car, the black car there, or if it was the white van that you see, if it was parked near one of those cars there. But somewhere right around there, and then they took him out. But once again, we have, the area that they were supposed to secure, they didn't secure that area. It's just not there. And that's what we were talking about there. Contrary to reports in several national news outlets, officers said the building just outside the security perimeter established by the Secret Service was in fact occupied by law enforcement. We went back and forth with all this. There were 3 counter snipers located in that building that the shooter eventually used to take shots at Trump. Again, we're not certain whether or not it was on, they were in the building and he was on the roof of that building, or if he was on the roof of the building behind the building that they were in. It's still a little unclear there. So there's that. Okay, we're getting to the shot here. We're getting to the actual shot. Let's see. AP News. Again, this will be contradictory here in just a moment. Local law enforcement officer climbed to the roof and found crooks who pointed the rifle at the officer. The officer retreated down the ladder, and the gunman quickly fired towards Trump. That's when Secret Service gunmen shot him. Questions about how they got so close. Bomb-making material, yada, yada, yada. Motive remains unclear. So the AP has it as the officer retreated down a ladder We have another one here that says, from the Epoch Times, municipal police officer, we're not certain from where, a gunman on the rooftop before he fired at President Trump at a rally, yada, 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 wasn't able to stop him in time. A Butler County sheriff, so this is the sheriffs, on Sunday that the Butler Township officers had initiated a search after receiving information of a suspicious person on a roof near the rally. Gunman had seen bystanders on the roof of the building. We already talked about that. Officer tried to climb onto the roof to inspect it. The shooter, who was already lying on the roof, turned, aimed his gun at him, forcing the officer to withdraw back down ground level for cover. All I know is the officer had both hands up on the roof, trying to get up onto the roof, but never made it because the shooter turned towards the officer, and rightfully and smartfully, oh, good God, smartfully, yeah, the whole thing smartfully, the officer let go. Now we have a totally different take on that. This is from the Butler Township Commissioner. Officer who encountered would-be assassin did not retreat. He was not to blame. The local police officer who encountered the would-be assassin, a former Donald Trump, did not retreat and tried to grab his gun but fell backwards, injuring himself in the process. The officer is now in pretty bad mental shape. Butler Township Commissioner Edward Natali said, explaining to the media outlets are wrongly blaming local officers for what happened on Saturday. So the feds are blaming the locals. You've probably seen in action movies where this happens. So this isn't out of the blue or anything like that. They're blaming the local officers. The officers are like, no, we did everything that we should have. I'm going to say the building that was discussed earlier this week, that was confirmed to me. I wasn't directly in the loop of all the preparations, but I can tell you my team had very good operational plan for that day, but it was all traffic control. He said, emphasizing that they were strictly there for traffic control. Okay, then who was in the building? Who were the snipers? If the local police were just doing traffic control, was it the sheriffs? Was it state? Was it a federal? We don't know. This is several days. When you look at the Secret Service, Pennsylvania State Police, Butler County Sheriff's Department, the Butler Township Police, that's the ones that only have 20 people. The Butler Township Police was only responsible for traffic detail, he said. Correcting the record, noting that the local officer who saw the shooter on the roof was not climbing a ladder, but was hosted by another. So if he was on traffic detail, how was he being hoisted up onto the building? If he's directing traffic, then how did he get to the building? We don't know. Nobody's said anything about this. He was not in a position to engage the suspect at all. He's actually being assisted. There was an officer on the ground. The ground officer is kind of hoisting him up, kind of in a military thing where you have your hands cupped and he's standing on his hands. He had both of his hands on the edge of the roof. He's trying to pick his head up to see where the suspect is. Suspect turns his rifle and points it at the head of my officer. He said, noting the officer was not in a position to engage. Further, he said the officer did not retreat despite assumptions made to the media. And we had during that period there was an officer injured and needed medical assistance, and they took him away on an ambulance. Some of the thinking was that when the Secret Service sniper took out the gunman, he might have, the bullet might have passed through the gunman and hit one of the police officers that was trying to come up. Apparently that wasn't the case. Apparently the case, according to this individual, as he was trying to climb up, saw the guy, oh my God, reached down with his only hand that he has two hands on the roof there. He reaches down with one of them, tries to grab the gun, loses his balance, falls off the roof, is injured. That may be why he was taken away instead of being shot at. Anyways, he goes on, couldn't wield his gun, completely in shock. And yeah, one would imagine. Why would police snipers be doing traffic control inside of a building? Bear needs to be better and more clear here. We don't know who the snipers were. Okay, inside the building that we're talking about here. We don't know if they were local. According to the, let me find it here. Let me get his name here. Butler Township Commissioner. Let's see. Does it say? Edward Natali. So he says all of the police department folks, the 20 people in the township at the police department, they were doing traffic control. The Secret Service and some of the other folks are saying that because, it was outside of this area. Let me find it here again. It was outside this area there with the Pac-Man, that it was local controlled. So we're trying to figure out who the local control is. Was it sheriffs? We have sheriffs from 3 different counties. Was it the state police? Was it another federal agency? It could be. But again, if the officer is over there doing traffic control, and you can see a road over there, barely the top left of your screen there. So maybe he was doing traffic control there. They had 30 minutes. And about 7 or so minutes when they saw him on the roof before he actually started shooting. Maybe a little bit more. So he would have had time to get off of the road, come into the parking lot there, try and attempt to climb up on the roof, and then, obviously fell off. But if a local police officer doing traffic control had enough time to get off of the road, come into the area, I would assume that it was somewhat locked up or secure, one would assume. Come in there, get out of his patrol car if he was in one, come around to the building, get lifted up by the guys, and onto the roof. Well, where were all of the other Secret Service people, or federal people, or even local people? If the township people had enough time to do that, then why did the other folks take so long? Okay, there we go. Thank you, Amy. I just wanted to make clear here. So there is that. Here is that. So this article contradicts the AP. So again, we've got to figure out, just because you hear something, oh, this is reported this way, doesn't mean that it actually happened. So we got to figure out what actually happened here. Okay, so the guy's dead. Trump climbs off. We've seen the. Let me find it here. We've seen the images. This is kind of an interesting one here. You'll notice he's out of focus. Here. Trump is, and the crowd is in focus. Now, when you have a camera, especially a long distance, it's set, this is probably set to automatic, but it was set, and when Trump turned, the focus went from, obviously you see the lectern, that's out of focus, he's out of focus, but the crowd behind him is in focus. So you saw where he turned there, the photograph here got out of focus because he moved slightly, and that's where the bullet missed. He's taken to the ground, comes back up. We've seen all these iconic images here. So they ended up finding on the roof, according to WPXI.com, Channel News 11 exclusively confirmed Tuesday that the shooter was spotted by police hanging around the American Glass Research Complex more than an hour before the assassination attempt. So we've got an hour. We've got more than an hour. We've got 30 minutes. It's all over the place. We've got up to 3 hours. It's hard to figure out, people. Multiple law enforcement sources described the security operation in detail on Tuesday, directly contradicting public statements from the U.S. Secret Service director. So now they're in a battle. Really, our only hope is the local folks there. Honestly, they're going to be investigating the people that got shot and the unfortunate guy that got killed there. Our only hope is those guys. That is our only hope, to get some sort of figuring out what was going on. According to law enforcement sources in multiple counties in western Pennsylvania, there were 2 sniper teams set up near the building where Thomas Crooks fired on Saturday evening. However, in direct contradictions to comments made by Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, There were no local police in the same building where crooks made it onto the roof. So who was in the building? Who was in the building? That's what we're trying to figure out. Channel 11's Nicole Ford also obtained exclusive photos showing the cell phone and transmitter device found on Crooks moments after the Secret Service sniper shot and killed him. Monday, Ford reported pictures of Crooks had been taken by local police at least 26 minutes before shots were fired and sent up to the command chain. We still have no idea what that was. On Tuesday, multiple law enforcement sources confirmed with Ford that Crooks was also spotted by police with a rangefinder. According to multiple sources, when former President Trump took the stage on Saturday, Crooks was still on the ground and not yet climbed the roof of the building. Channel 11 also can confirm that Crooks was on the roof with a gun for fewer than 7 minutes when first confronted by Butler Township police officer. This is the guy that got injured, apparently. Ford questioned state police on their role in the command center and who is running the top lines of communication. She was told they cannot release information related to operational security or planning. Your operational security sucked, and your planning sucked, and we need to know those information. It's not like you don't have secrets. This is a complete screw-up. So we can't even figure out who is in the command hierarchy here, much less who is in the building. A transmitter not remote. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, again, and take a look at this. You'll notice this. Also his cell phone there. I believe an iPhone, it's hard to tell. iPhone looks like a battery. I'm assuming they took out the battery, and you'll see also probably the back plate there. I'm assuming they took that out so it wouldn't trigger, whatever was going to be triggered here. But take a look at this photo for just a second, and also take a look at this photo for just a second. This is when they took the guy out. They brought people up there. The guy in the police uniform looks to be local police. The other ones could be sheriffs, could also be state police as well. What do you notice about two of those pictures? The gunman is dead, right? You can see the blood there. Who are the military people? Again, they're more likely than not military, but that's what happens when you have militarization of the police. I would assume maybe those were possibly the sniper team. They look like they're... Not everybody in the Secret Service is, protecting the president. There's a lot of other people as well. So they have what's called the counter-assault team. I don't think this is Secret Service, but, again, it's essentially a counter-assault team. If they had Al-Qaeda decide to come in and shoot up the place with 4 or 5 people, these would be the guys that are trying to take those guys out. So maybe sheriffs, maybe state police. Again, we don't know. We don't know. But you notice they're standing tall, right? They're standing tall. Here's the cell phone. So one of the reasons why the Secret Service says, the reason why they didn't have anybody on the roof, do you people know why they didn't have anybody on the roof? Let me take a drink here. Needed that. Get all hot and heavy here, people. And I know, it's 9:30, we're running. Right. They aren't sliding off the roof. Amy, you win all the prizes. You win all the prizes. No, they're not sliding off. The dead body isn't sliding off the roof. The cell phone isn't sliding off the roof. If it was such a slanted roof that they couldn't put people up there due to, somebody might getting hurt, why isn't the dead body rolling off? Why isn't the cell phone sliding off? Or the battery? I mean, even the battery is up on, up on the short side there, so it looks like it's a 9-volt. So, it's got more weight up there at the top, because it should be tipped over, right? So there you go. Yay, says Amy. Yay, says Amy. You can be And you can be a better investigator than the Secret Service out here, for crying out loud. So there you go. There is not any roll-off there. None whatsoever. Let me see. Did I have anything else? I mean, I do, but you guys get the point here. You guys get the point of, hey, this is a little bit suspect here. Very suspicious here. Very, very suspicious. So once again, here is, beer can find it here. Here we go. There is the sort of perimeter that we're supposed to be looking at. Suspiciously cut out of all that stuff is the area where the guy was at. And of course, that roof was too slanted. Although it wasn't too slanted for, let me see here. They were also on the slant. This is going to be behind the grandstands. These are the Secret Service guys. You can tell the difference, Amy. The reason why that Bear says that it probably wasn't Secret Service, number one, it was outside the area. Number two, you notice they're in black. The other guys were in camo. So I'm assuming, relatively safely assuming that, the other guys were not with the Secret Service. But look at that slant there. Look at that slant there. They were able to put people up there, but not elsewhere. Very, 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 very odd, and none of this stuff is adding up. All right. I'll try to do this a little bit briefly here, and come back to it. So this is the shooter. Supposedly. I say supposedly because there's a whole lot of stuff going on that nobody's talking about. So one of the very first things that Bear was trying to do is develop a character profile on this fella here. Just kind of basic stuff, how did he, get to the building and stuff like that? Did he work there? Obviously he did not. Well, as far as we can tell, he did not work there. Trying to figure out, okay, what was his mental state? What was his intelligence state? The guy's pretty smart. I don't want to say a genius or anything like that, but, he ain't no dummy. Everybody was saying, he missed, so he must be some sort of dummy. I don't think that was the case. He turned. This is one of the few, if not only, publicly available pictures out there. Let me double check here for Amy real quick. Did I have that other photograph in here? Gosh dang it. I probably don't. I should have brought that up. Gosh dang it. I should have. Anyways, I didn't. The only other picture that Bear has, it's not a good one, but that's the other picture. So why we don't have any other photographs of this guy other than this one is very, very suspicious. Apparently a 20-year-old had no online presence. He wasn't on YouTube. He wasn't on TikTok. He wasn't on any of the stuff out there. We haven't been able to find, Xbox or Sony PlayStation. Did he have a Stream account? Did he had an Apple phone? Did he have an Apple ID account? We can't even find that. Okay, supposedly the FBI has his phone, and supposedly they broke into it, but we don't know. So we're trying to figure out who this guy is, and he has no online presence. So there's two. Amy has, let's see, he worked, we'll say, at a retirement facility with food and care, if the article that I read was right. Okay, well, we'll go with that. That's fine. But other than that, and that may, the article could be right or could be wrong. We had an AP article that said one thing. We had another article that said a completely different thing. So we really have to take our time to double check and triple check things. So Bear doesn't want to go out on a limb here, but just as someone who comes up with fiction, what would be the most likely outcome of this situation. Don't worry about it, Amy. It's fine. Don't worry about it. The only thing that makes sense, okay, this guy, let me go back. Let me find the article here. Get to it. From Epoch Times, or Epic Times if you prefer. Had National Math and Science Initiative Star Award. We don't know his grades at high school. We just don't know. Graduated community college. And a degree in engineering science. Now, Amy, again, I don't mean to distrust your information. Well, let's say it's valid. Let's say it's valid for just a second. You have an associate degree in engineering science, and probably you're, not no dummy out there. And yet he's working for a retirement facility. You could go out with an engineering and science degree and get a pretty good paying job right away. I mean, pretty decent out there. And he's in that area of, in Pennsylvania there, where they have a whole lot of, manufacturing and construction and all that sort of stuff. That would be someone in high demand. It's also possible, and this is where Bear comes in, and if you're in the know, then you know what Bear is talking about, and if you don't, well, I'm just going to leave it a little ambiguous here. There is every indication that this gentleman was either an asset or an agent. I don't know which agency. I don't even know if it's possible that it's domestic. Okay? But there is every indication that this guy is at least an asset. And the reason that Bear says this is unless they went in and intentionally scrubbed his entire internet history, you would want to have a small footprint online as you would, because you need to change your name and identity and all these other things. So you wouldn't want to have, a whole lot of, you wouldn't want to have a whole lot of photographs of yourself out there, right? Wait a minute. This guy calling himself Steve is actually, what was his name? Thomas? I forget. I don't even care. Doesn't even matter. Very, very, very likely. Bear can never say for certain. Same thing with Oswald out there. There's indication that he was an asset, for a certain agency back then. Other indication that no, he was a dirty commie. Both could be true at the same time. But you got a really smart individual that may be looking for a job at a federal agency, that may have gotten the job or been an asset because they took a look at the guy's, background and history. And then once he did his deed, oh my God, we got to get rid of all that stuff. Could be one or the other. So we shall find out. That is a long-term project. But for Too Long Didn't Read crowd, it seems that this is very suspicious, this fella here. It doesn't seem like he lived a normal life, and could be one or the other out there. So we shall see. Oh, I'm sorry, Melissa. Or Amy. Melissa may have been... Oh, I thought you were saying you had to go. I'm sorry. I'm getting dyslexic here. Someone told him he was saving our democracy, didn't they? There's another possibility. There's a complete different possibility that this may have been some sort of what they call red team. So in other words, security services, security agencies out there, they want to test. They came out with an article a couple days ago. I don't have it right in front of me, where one of the agencies in the Homeland Security Department was doing a red team on another, we don't know, another agency out there trying to break into their servers. So what they're trying to do is break into their, hack into their network there. And once they do, they'll let the people know, hey, you've got a vulnerability here that you need to patch. You didn't download the latest Microsoft update or whatever. They ended up being in the whichever department. They were in there for like 6 months. So this could be very remote possibility of a sort of red team. He could be there just to see, what the reaction was from the local police department. The Secret Service, we got it all, we got it all handled and everything. And, maybe he thought that there were blanks in the gun and there weren't. I mean, a very remote possibility, but that it could be one possibility. But no, I would say he's probably either a asset or an agent out there. So we'll go ahead and just kind of leave it there for our fun-filled episode that we all have. I had a whole different articles to talk about here, but I know this was topic du jour. Bear was kind of keeping an eye on it, got to get all this stuff together. And, listen, this ain't Twitter. We aren't just, Bear's not here for clicks, or likes or anything like that, although do hit that thumbs up. But we need to make sure that we get out the truth rather than just rumors and theories and accusations and all that sort of stuff. So when I say he's an asset or an agent, I don't mean that as a, hey, look at me over here, trying to be, very boisterous about it. That's the road that Bear had to travel down to reach a conclusion. Again, he could have just snapped and went crazy, but that doesn't seem like it at all. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much. Bear hangs on to those thumbs up out there. I tell you what, so. Anyways, had a completely different show, but I thought you folks might want to just kind of see what's going through Bear's mind and trying to at least get a timeline and kind of a figure of what's going on there. But once again, just kind of backing out 10,000 feet. Holy cow. That was, I mean, you don't often see miracles live on television, but I think we witnessed that on Saturday. So very, very intriguing, and more to come out here. More to come. Thank you, Amy. I hope that made sense and was exciting and informative for you. But then who shot the president's ears? That's Amy. Again, I mean, it could be an accident where he put live bullets into. Again, I don't think it's a red team situation, but I mean, look, that's where Bear. You gotta go where the truth is leading you to. Sometimes it might not be the most correct thing. You gotta take a step back and say, wait a minute, let me readjust my glasses here. But that's what it looks like to old Bear here. I would love to hear any other factual, opinions out there. Love to hear it, but there's a lot of stuff out there that's just a bunch of BS, and you really got to kind of cut through a whole bunch of that stuff out there. So, anyways, thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much. I'm glad we got to talk about it. Maybe it was the unknown snipers in the building. Again, trying not to go down the conspiratorial route, but I don't think that we should completely discount it either. So that's Bear's best way of trying to lower the temperature, but also give you all the information that he has. So once again, Hand of God out there. Hand of God, or maybe Ear of God. Maybe I should have renamed that. I don't know. Amy, any D&Q tonight? Are they going to be drawing Trump? I'd love to see them just drawing Trump as a superhero. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. They were taking a break from directing traffic. We can all come up with theories, but, trying to find the facts, that's pretty hard here. That is pretty hard. All right, once again, let me thank everybody that it was out here. Amy and Melissa, just keeping beer company. Thank you so much. P-Money going to eat, what was it, KFC or something like that? I appreciate that. All of our Russian bots and lurkers, we do appreciate you. Do appreciate you. Melissa would draw Trump. Melissa, that would be cool. Pardon me, I am burping here, people. So people, that means that Bear's getting a little bit hungry out here. For unknown reasons. Unknown reasons, but you know what? And thank you all for being here. We do appreciate each and every one of you. But you know what? Bear's getting a little bit hungry, so he's going to head back into the woods. So until next time, people, grrr. A grrr. Night, everybody.